what I like about this stuff is being traditional and figuring out your own way and being self-sufficient. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic day. It is the first week of May and it's a beautiful day. We're still a little bit cool, but the plants are thriving and we're just getting ready to do some potting on the porch. But I want to talk about something super important and something that's going to help you on your gardens or your homestead, whatever you have. And just moving forward, if you change this mindset a little bit, it could very well work out into your favor from now and into the future. Don't mind the dog crate there. We're actually climatizing our chickens to go out into the coop soon. But I don't know if you remember, but I did a video about this, I'd say about a month or so ago, and the company had sent me this garden box and we put it together and it promptly blew over. Now, I want to say this. First and foremost, it's not really their fault that it blew over, but what happened was the wind caught this thick trellis here, blew it over, spilled the plants out, everything fell out. I had to replant what I could, and we're just kind of waiting now to see what we want to do with it. But I had a thought. I know how much they charged for this, and it was on sale, and it was about $115. And then I thought to myself, because I've been threatening to do this for a while, I thought to myself, what if I build my own and see what I can get for less money than that one would have cost? It's super crazy, and I built this monstrosity. I mean, check this out. So this is something I've been threatening to do for years, finally did it. This whole thing right here cost me about $72. Now, if you look, what we did is we planted 2 tomatoes in the back, 3 peppers, and then a dwarf tomato in the front, and then we just plopped some basil right in the middle. So we've got, I'd say, about a 7-foot trellis here. We've got 27 cubic feet of soil in here to work with. As usual, I go to build it and I just go crazy, and I made it too big. I had to get dirt that I was already going to get in my garden, so I got a truckload of it, and then it took about 5 wheelbarrow loads to get it as full as it is now, and I just kind of stopped and said each year I'll just add another bag, whatever. But it's plenty big. You know, I can put tomatoes in it this year, I can grow cucumbers in the back, no problem. I can grow potatoes in it, sweet potatoes, you name it, for the most part we can grow in it. Now, in comparison to this guy, you're really limited to what you can grow. And so that leads me to this whole thing that I've been thinking about. And, you know, DIY, do it yourself is a big thing on YouTube and the internet, and there's all kinds of stuff about it out there. But a lot of times the fear stops people from doing it. I know it stopped me a bunch of times, so I speak from experience. But it'll stop you from trying to build something sometimes. And I said when I did my wash station video, like, I'm not very good at this. But everything that you see around here, I have built myself one step at a time, getting plans from somewhere. And, you know, I started off, for instance, like this outdoor couch. We don't have the cushions on it now, but this outdoor couch, I built it out of 2x4s. And it's lasted 6 years now. We'll probably get another 4 years out. So it should be a 10-year couch. Cost me $50. Starting to see a trend about how much stuff costs. So, you know, I started with that. And then I built my garden beds. I've built a couple tables on the porch. Hell, I even built this one right here. This one is a little junked up, but I built it and then took it apart and rebuilt it so it was more sturdy and useful. And that's not the first time I did that, but that was part of the learning process. But I can tell you, each time I've done it, I've gotten better and better and better at building to where now, like this, well, first of all, this guy back here, I didn't get any plans or anything. I just kind of built it. You see what happens. It gets too big too fast. If I would have thought about the cost of soil or dirt to put in there, I probably wouldn't have made it so big. But the fact is, it's done. And I did it. It's mine. And you can do the same thing. So don't let the fear of building something stop you from accomplishing a goal and really transforming your space into something different. You know, we have a need and a desire. And our need is we wanted to have more growing space. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I built this for in a second. but we had a need for this growing space and we desired to have this. So I don't want to spend a couple $100 on something this size when I can take a little bit of time, do it myself, and then we have it. But I do want to show you the plant that I built this whole thing for. And it's kind of crazy, but. So this tomato right here, it's a Better Boy tomato. And I had asked my parents, you know, what kind of plants do you want me to give you? And they're like, well, we don't grow anything but Better Boys. And I never knew what was so special about it. So I decided I wanted to grow a Better Boy this year. I got a pack of seeds. I started their Better Boys for them. And then I said, well, I want to put the Better Boys in my garden, but I ran out of space. So this was my option. So technically at this point, I'm right at an $85 tomato for this Better Boy. But we were able to put a cherry tomato in. We had run out of space for those, so we were able to get a cherry tomato in on this trellis. We've got the dwarf tomatoes, so it's gonna work out in the long run. And the thing with having something this close to the door, you know, there's the exit to my house. If my wife needs a couple cherry tomatoes for a salad or a tomato for a sandwich, or my son wants a pepper, or we need some basil, we can just come out and grab it right off the porch and we don't have to go all the way back there. So the one thing that's cool about building stuff yourself is, one, you're gonna have something that most people don't have. Two, it's yours. And three, who cares if it's a little messed up and it's not perfect? You built it. You have pride in this now. You know, I have zero pride in this. Zero. This is just a thing. It's just here. I mean, it's a small garden box. I can grow food out of it, whatever. And this over here, I'm proud of it. I built it. It's ugly as all get out. I mean, it's a little crooked. It's, you know, it's too big. I didn't trim it out right. But that being said, it's mine and I built it and I'm proud of it. And I do like it. The one cool thing is my buddy was here, and so my friend down the road, he's a really good woodworker. And sometimes I'll have him come over if I need help or something. And I just needed him to hold a piece of wood. And so we were cutting this top piece up here. And I said, let's go fancy and go over the edge and give it an angle cut. Boy, you would have thought that I was a custom carpenter at that point. We did it. But I mean, these are the things that it's just kind of a fun story. We'll have it forever. We'll never move this. I can tell you that. It took a couple of us to move it out here. Now that it's full of dirt, it's impossible to move. So hopefully my porch doesn't collapse, but you know what? If it collapses, there's a stupid story that I can tell my grandkids one day. So just, if you need something, try and think about building it and start small. Build something small. You know, get a piece of wood, get a saw. You don't need crazy tools. I mean, again, for this one, I used a circular saw, a drill, and a level, and a tape measure. That's it. That's all the tools I needed to build that whole thing. So you can do it. And the investment to get started with something like that, like you can go on like Facebook Marketplace or anywhere like that, and you can get these tools really cheap. And I mean, for 50 bucks, you could have everything you need, essentially. Now, it may not last forever, but it'll give you enough to figure out if you want to do it. But again, $100 and 3 plants, or 70 bucks and 6 plants, maybe more. Kind of works out in your favor, you see, you know what I mean? So, and I think this is the big thing about what I like about this stuff is being traditional and figuring out your own way and being self-sufficient. You know, I mean, yeah, I'm not self-sufficient in the fact that I'm gonna go out and mill my own wood, but I've sat on this couch for 6 years, paid 50 bucks to build it. I didn't go up to the local department store and buy a $1,000 couch to sit on my porch. I'm just not gonna do that. That's crazy talk. So it's just, you know, the traditional ways of building your own stuff that you need for your yard and your space and your homestead, and really being able to customize it completely. I mean, if you go back to the video I did about the washing station, I customized that the way I wanted it. It's my height. It's got all the things that I need on it, and it works. And that is the beauty of all of this. So it's like our ancestors did before. Like back in the day, you didn't go buy a chair, you built a chair. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to sit down, you had to make it happen, Captain. And some people sat on the ground. Some people sat on the stools. Some people sat in rocking chairs. And guess what? Those people in the rocking chairs were way happier, and their kids were happier because they were telling them stories because they knew how to build that chair.